Welcome back to The Why. DEI roles are declining. Those are jobs focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. And today, we're asking why. Thanks for being with us. I'm Lauren Magarino. We told you earlier, hiring for chief diversity and inclusion officers dropped by almost 5% last year. That's according to LinkedIn data. Our first guest told us about some of the trickle-down effects, but not everyone is in favor of DEI in the workplace. And here to tell us why is Horace Cooper. He's joining us from our DC studio and is the chair of Project 21, an initiative to serve as a voice for Black conservatives. Horace, I want to thank you for being with us. And you say DEI in the workplace hurts companies, and I think I've heard you say you say die instead of DEI. Why is that the case?
Well, I have an upcoming book out and I have a chapter, and I refer to it as DIE instead of DEI because it's a killer in the workplace. Now, last year, as you pointed out, there was a significant drop in the number of hirings, but since then, the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg are both reporting a very aggressive firing effort where people who are incumbent DEI officers are being removed. This tells us that these employees add little to no value to the company. We're in the middle of significant and nearly unprecedented inflation. When people go to the grocery store or to the car dealership or wherever they're buying goods and services, they're faced with these inflated costs. Companies, therefore, must reduce unnecessary expenditures. And they are telling us that these individuals don't add value, and they would rather make sure customers aren't as impacted. Last point, and that is that Black American households are the hardest hit by these inflationary actions. And when you bring on these kinds of workers that add to the cost rather than lowering the cost, Black American households are likely to be the hardest hit.
That's interesting, because one of the things that we had looked into researching this were that multiple studies were showing diversity is good within the workplace. You know, we referenced a McKinsey study earlier, and it found companies in the top quartile when it comes to ethnic and cultural diversity outperformed those in the bottom quartile by 36% in terms of profitability, excuse me. So you're mentioning, you know, this is not a good thing. You're saying it's harming companies. I'm not sure I quite heard what exactly is harming them. But if studies are showing diversity can boost profits, why would companies not take that into consideration, Horace?
If companies are laying people off, it's because companies have to lower costs. And they start with the things that are not adding value. They start with the things that are not increasing efficiencies. These roles do not add efficiencies. In fact, they create some division. They cause
like what?
Workforces. They cause the workforce to be divided in a way that they normally wouldn't be.
Final question for you as we run short on time. If you could take a look at this, you know, each one of these boxes represents a Fortune 500 CEO. And as you can see, almost all, 86% are white men. This is data from 2021. Horace, what is a better solution for making workplaces look more like the general population? Let's back away from the inflation part. Let's just talk about diversity within a workplace.
Growing and vibrant economies create the best opportunity for Black Americans. We need to do a better job with our secondary education, our primary education. Our people need to be equipped at early stages in their life, and they can compete. If you're talking about what the economic environment is that we Americans are experiencing right now, it's incumbent upon everyone to become as talented, creative, and advantageously marketed because of their skill set. That has nothing to do with race, but DEI, unfortunately, focuses on the end result and not on the inputs.
Horace Cooper, Project 21. Horace, thank you for giving us some of your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're